NFL draft is over, but the Detroit Lions still could have some needs left on this football team, and free agency is still going on, and there is free agents out there that could help the Lions out. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 free agents that the Lions could possibly look to sign to help out for this roster regarding depth. But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a sound and smart idea to take your feet and completely block it in cement, go into the middle of the ocean and jump overboard, go and subscribe to my channel because we took all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. Sometimes being a Lions fan, you can feel like you lost your breath. Also, make sure you take that like button, wrap it up, get it all cemented, and throw it in the middle of the ocean. Let's get into today's Lions free agents. One player that the Detroit Lions are very familiar with, and that's linebacker Anthony Barr of the Minnesota Vikings. He has done a good job beating us up over the years, and the Lions did not really address a whole lot regarding the linebacker position. Maybe they could go and beef it up a little bit by getting Anthony Barr. Last year, 38 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions. The Lions still need help. They do. I think regarding the linebacker position and what happens if we get an injury, specifically in training camp, that could be a big-time issue for the Lions. Yes, we got Alex Anzalone. We got Jared Davis. Yes, we got Derek Barnes. And we picked up a draft pick in the end of the draft, but we still, in my opinion, need to get better at the position. And if the Lions would like to get a veteran, he could be someone the Lions could look to get. Should the Detroit Lions continue to add free agents? Let me know in the comment section below. Y for yes and N for no. Folks, I'm not just talking about players that's going to be starters, but we're talking also about backup roles and for value. So, Y for yes, N for no. Let me know what you guys think. The Lions, we've been seeing this, has been looking for veteran help at the cornerback position. Yes, we drafted corner in this year's draft, but what about getting Kyle Fuller, current free agent? We look at his stats last year. We're talking about 40 solo tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 0 interceptions, 4 pass defense. Obviously, not the greatest stats in the world, but we're just looking for veteran help. We're just looking for potentially for if there's an issue regarding injuries as well, and he did pretty good in the NFC North when he was with the Chicago Bears, and maybe the Lions could look to get some help in a way. You know what? The one position I felt like the Detroit Lions didn't do great in the draft, we got some help, but how about getting Tyrell Crosby back to the Detroit Lions as a swing tackle? We picked up some undrafted tackles. That's facts, but Tyrell Crosby could come back. Extremely cheap deal. He would be better, I think, than probably Nelson as a backup role. And we don't know for sure how these undrafted guys are going to look. If they are not ready to take up the mantle, you can always look towards Tyrell Crosby to help out the Lions out as a depth player. Another player the Detroit Lions could look to get is Xavier Rhodes, safety. Look, if you look at Deshaun Elliott, this guy was injured quite a bit last year, and there's a possibility that he could get injured again. Yes, we drafted Kirby Joseph. Love him. Love Kirby Joseph. But what if there is injuries? What if he's not ready? You could look to Xavier Rhodes before we go to the NFL season. And last year, he was with the Indianapolis Colts, 32 solo tackles, 1 interception, 0 forced fumbles, 7 pass defense. He's still got something left in the tank, folks. And there's nothing wrong with getting players who's got something left in the tank. If Elliott does not work out, he's injured, possibility we can get Rhodes to help out in that depth position. Another player that the Detroit Lions could look to get is another cornerback. How about Kevin King here from the Green Bay Packers? Again, low type of contract, veteran presence, nothing to be a starter. But if there's injuries in their backup role, he could be an option for the Lions. Last year, 21 solo tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 1 interception, and 3 pass defense. For a veteran guy, I think that wouldn't be too bad. Getting better in the secondary for this up-and-coming season, folks. We're in year 2 of the rebuild. And if we do have an injury onslaught like we did last year, do you really want to lose games just because we didn't get a veteran player, or just because we didn't get an experienced player? I say to the nah. I think it's important to have veterans back there if there's injuries, as well as bringing these young guys along. We got a pretty good depth right now at the cornerback position, so I'm not too worried if they didn't go this route. But if we do start to have injuries, folks, I would like to see some veterans on this football team. I'd like to see some wins. I think this year we need to get wins. I think that's really important, that this is not the year to just wait when you have a shot to get some wins. But you also have a shot to smash that like button, folks. Let's get to 400 likes in this video. We just made 22,000 subscribers. I think 400 is a reasonable ask for the amount of subscribers we got to 400. It only takes a second to go ahead and smash that like button. Linebacker is a topic of this video, because I feel like the Lions could still address the linebacker position. Another cheap guy would be A.J. Johnson, linebacker here. He's a little older, I guess in the 30s. He's a veteran guy. His stats are not that great, in all honesty. But we're talking again as a backup role. 20 solo tackles and 2 sacks. I think it could help out the Lions a little bit here, getting better defensively. If Alex Anzalone goes down, or Derek Barnes goes down, or, of course, Jared Davis, who's been injured quite a bit, goes down, you can bring in A.J. Johnson on a cheaper deal to help out the linebacker core. The rookie probably won't be ready yet for a bigger role, so there's no problem going this route, in my opinion. Now, this is going to be a fun one here, folks. This next player. How about Nick Foles? Why? Because the Bears released him. And I don't trust Tim Boyle and David Blau. Again, if Goff goes down, do you trust those two to hold the fort down? Not necessarily. And guess what? Nick Foles, to me, is a better backup than those two. It's not going to cost a lot. This guy was their 4th string. We're talking about Nick Foles here, who won a Super Bowl. Is he what he used to be? Absolutely not. What we're talking about is a backup role. Look at his stats last year. Just 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 45.6, because he was an extreme backup over there for the Chicago Bears. And I think if the Lions have an opportunity to upgrade over Tim Boyle, do it. Come on, guys. Tim Boyle's not the answer. David Blau's not the future. It would be cheap. And the talent is better. He's not going to be pushing Jared Goff for the starter role. That's not the case at all. But if Jared Goff goes down, he would give us an opportunity. I think he'd definitely give us a better opportunity to win than those two. Offensive line. Nothing wrong with getting a guard. There's nothing wrong with bettering the depth. Yes, I think we actually got pretty good depth right now for the offensive line. No doubt about it. I think we do. But if injury occurs during training camp, how about look towards Trey Turner, offensive line there? He's got some starting time. He is an individual that can help out from a depth perspective. Someone just to keep an eye on. I honestly don't think they would go guard at all, because we have a pretty good depth right now. But you can go to chatsports.com/linesbet and bet on MLB. Bet on some NBA. We got the NFL coming up in a couple months, at least preseason. We'll get into that. So go to chatsports.com/linesbet. That's BetUS. Put in the promo code LINES125. You can make some money. 125% deposit bonus, folks. Throw it in there. Make a little bit of cash. We're going to do another linebacker here. How about Anthony Hitchens? 29 years old. Not the oldest guy. He wouldn't cost, I think, a whole lot. Last year, 41 solo tackles, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 1 INT. Again, do I have to keep going over the fact that we didn't address this a whole lot in the draft? I understand they like everybody. I understand they love Alex Anzalone. They love Jared Davis. They love the linebackers they got, folks. But guess what? Injuries happen. And I have no freaking problem getting a player that can help the team out from that perspective. This is not all about just starters. It's about depth as well as holding the fort down if things go sour. We don't want it to go sour, but we've seen it throughout the years. The Lions go sour because of injury. It just happens to us. It is what it is. And the final player on my list, he's a hometown favorite. Yeah, he's older. That's okay. That's okay. But how about Ndamukong Suh? Put him on this defensive line. Yes, we got a really good defensive line right now. We got good at depth. But I love Ndamukong Suh. I do. And at 35 years old, he's still got something left in the tank, folks. And Suh, bring him back home. Just bring him back home. It would be on a complete rotational basis. And imagine having him on a rotation on this defensive line with all the defensive linemen we got. It would be sick, ridiculous, epic. Now, he could return back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very well could because of Tom Brady. Yeah, we know. But I wouldn't mind bringing him back on a one-year deal. Last year, 15 solo tackles. 6 sacks, folks. He still was given sacks. That's what we need. And he would help out the rest of the defensive line. Matt Ham, Levi Onwuzurike, Lee McNeil, Joshua Pascal, Romeo Okwara, Junior Okwara, Aiden Hutchinson, and Harris. Michael Brockers would probably be the one out of here if we brought him in. He could be out of here because of Pascal anyways. But I think that would be fun. I'd love to see Suh. That's kind of my bias pick right there. In the upcoming videos, folks, we got the One Pride podcast on my channel at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you're there. If you got questions about the draft, we are live. It is for you to ask us what you want. Also, make sure you go to all the social media sites, folks. We're talking about Twitter, Facebook, LNU. Find me on there, dropping content quite a bit. With that said, folks, adios.